Islam began in the 7th century. It started in Mecca, a busy trading city in Arabia. A man named Muhammad received messages from God, or Allah. These messages were collected in the Quran, Islam's holy book. Muhammad taught about one God. He spoke of compassion, justice, and honesty. Many people in Mecca did not like his message at first. They were used to worshipping many gods. Muhammad and his followers faced difficulties. They eventually moved to the city of Medina. This journey is called the Hijra. It marks the beginning of the Islamic calendar. In Medina, the first Muslim community grew strong and established its own distinct identity and practices. After Prophet Muhammad passed away in 632 CE, his followers needed a leader. They chose Abu Bakr, a close companion, as the first caliph. The caliph was the political and religious leader of the Muslim community, or Ummah. This period saw the rule of the first 4 caliphs known as the Rashidun, or rightly guided caliphs. They were Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman, and Ali. During their time, Islam spread quickly beyond Arabia. Armies went into lands controlled by the Byzantine and Persian empires. Many people in these lands welcomed the new rulers. They were often tired of the old empires and their heavy taxes. The early caliphs focused on establishing a just society based on Islamic principles. The Umayyad Caliphate followed the Rashidun Caliphs in 661 CE. The Umayyads moved the capital from Medina to Damascus, in Syria. This was a big change. Under the Umayyads, the Islamic Empire grew even larger. It stretched from Spain in the west to India in the east. They built a strong administration. They used Arabic as the official language. They also minted their own coins. The Dome of the Rock in Jerusalem, a beautiful Islamic shrine, was built during their rule. This period was important for consolidating the vast territories and developing a more organized state structure, though it also saw internal political tensions begin to surface. However, the Umayyad rule also faced opposition. Some Muslims felt the Umayyads were too worldly. They believed the rulers were not following the true spirit of Islam. This discontent led to rebellions. One major group that opposed them was the Abbasids. They claimed descent from an uncle of the Prophet Muhammad. In 750 CE, the Abbasids overthrew the Umayyads. This marked another big shift in Islamic history. The Abbasids moved the capital again, this time to a new city. They built Baghdad in Iraq. Baghdad would soon become a world-renowned center of learning and culture under their long and influential reign. The Abbasid Caliphate ushered in what is often called the Golden Age of Islam. This period lasted for several centuries, particularly from the 8th to the 13th century. Baghdad, their capital, became a magnificent city. It was home to scholars, poets, scientists, and artists from many different lands and faiths. The Abbasid caliphs like Harun al-Rashid and his son al-Mamun greatly supported learning. They established the House of Wisdom in Baghdad. This was a famous library and translation center. Scholars there translated ancient Greek, Persian, and Indian texts into Arabic. This preserved much knowledge that might have otherwise been lost to the world. During this golden age, Islamic civilization made amazing advancements in culture and science. Thinkers like Al-Kindi and Al-Farabi explored philosophy, blending Greek ideas with Islamic thought. Poetry flourished, with beautiful verses written about love, nature, and faith. Islamic art and architecture developed unique styles. You can see this in the intricate geometric patterns and calligraphy found in mosques and palaces. They avoided depicting human figures in religious art, focusing instead on these abstract designs and the beauty of the written word. This creative spirit spread throughout the Islamic world, influencing art and thought far beyond its borders. It was a time of great intellectual ferment and artistic expression. Science also thrived remarkably under the Abbasids and other regional powers. Muslim mathematicians developed algebra. The word itself comes from Arabic. They also introduced the concept of algorithms, named after the scholar Al-Khwarizmi. Astronomers made precise observations of the stars and planets. They built observatories and improved tools like the astrolabe. In medicine, physicians like Ibn Sina, Avicenna, wrote encyclopedias that were used in Europe for centuries. They made discoveries about diseases, surgery, and pharmacology. Al-Haytham, Al-Hazan, made groundbreaking contributions to optics, understanding how vision works. These scientific contributions laid crucial groundwork for later developments globally. However, this era of brilliance also faced severe challenges. Starting in the late 11th century, Christian armies from Europe launched the Crusades. Their aim was to capture Jerusalem and the Holy Land. This led to centuries of conflict. Figures like Salahuddin Ayyubi, Saladin, became famous for leading Muslim forces against the Crusaders. Then, in the 13th century, a much greater threat emerged from the east, the Mongol invasions. In 1258, the Mongols, led by Hulagu Khan, conquered and destroyed Baghdad. They killed the last Abbasid caliph in the city. This event was a devastating blow to the Islamic world, marking an end to the Abbasid Caliphate's central authority and a period of widespread destruction. After the fall of Baghdad to the Mongols, the Islamic world saw a shift in power. No single caliphate held central authority. Instead, several powerful regional empires rose to prominence. The Mamluks, originally slave soldiers, had already established a strong sultanate in Egypt and Syria. They famously defeated the Mongols at the Battle of Ain Jalut in 1260, stopping their westward advance. This victory was hugely significant. In Persia and surrounding areas, the Mongol Ilkhanate eventually converted to Islam. New centers of Islamic culture and learning began to emerge in places like Cairo, Samarkand, and Isfahan, carrying on the intellectual traditions of the past despite the earlier disruptions. One of the most significant new powers was the Ottoman Empire. The Ottomans began as a small Turkish principality in Anatolia, modern-day Turkey. Over centuries, they grew into a vast and powerful empire. A key moment was in 1453 when Sultan Mehmed II conquered Constantinople, the capital of the Byzantine Empire. He renamed it Istanbul and made it the Ottoman capital. This conquest was a major event in world history. The Ottomans became the leading Islamic power for centuries. Their empire controlled much of Southeast Europe, North Africa, and the Middle East. They saw themselves as protectors of Islam in the holy cities of Mecca and Medina. The Ottoman Empire reached its peak under rulers like Suleiman the Magnificent in the 16th century. He was known for his legal reforms, earning him the title the Lawgiver. The Ottomans had a strong military, including the elite Janissary Corps. They also developed a sophisticated administration. Ottoman culture flourished, with distinctive achievements in architecture such as the grand mosques designed by Sinan. They also excelled in ceramics, calligraphy, and poetry. Their influence was felt far and wide, shaping the political and cultural landscape of 3 continents for many hundreds of years. The empire was a complex, multi-ethnic, and multi-religious state. While the Ottomans were dominant, other important Islamic empires also existed during this middle period. In Persia, modern-day Iran, the Safavid Empire rose in the early 16th century. The Safavids established Shia Islam as the state religion. This created a distinct cultural and religious identity for Persia. They were often rivals of the Sunni Ottomans. Further east in India, the Mughal Empire was founded by Babur, a descendant of Timur, also known as Tamerlane. The Mughals ruled over most of the Indian subcontinent. They were known for their wealth, grandeur, and stunning architecture like the Taj Mahal. These empires, each with their unique contributions, represented the diversity and dynamism of the Islamic world during these centuries. From the 18th century onwards, the great Islamic empires like the Ottomans, Safavids, and Mughals began to face internal decline and external pressures. European powers, fueled by the Industrial Revolution and a desire for resources and markets, started to expand their influence globally. This period of colonialism had a profound impact on the Islamic world. Many Muslim majority lands came under direct or indirect European rule. This loss of political sovereignty was a shock. It led to widespread questioning about why Islamic societies had fallen behind the West. It also disrupted traditional economies and social structures, creating new challenges for Muslim communities everywhere. In response to colonialism and perceived decline, various Islamic reform and revivalist movements emerged during the 19th and 20th centuries. Some thinkers called for a modernization of Islamic societies. They argued for adopting Western science and education while remaining true to Islamic values. Others advocated for a return to what they saw as the pure original teachings of Islam. They believed this was the way to regain strength and independence. Figures like Jamal al-Din al-Afghani and Muhammad Abdu were influential in these debates. These movements had diverse aims, from political activism to educational reform, all seeking to navigate the challenges of the modern age. The 20th century saw the end of colonial rule for most Muslim-majority countries. Many new nations gained independence, particularly after World War II. This post-colonial era brought new hopes, but also significant difficulties. These nations faced the tasks of building stable governments, developing their economies, and forging national identities. Political instability, Cold War rivalries and regional conflicts affected many parts of the Islamic world. The rise of political Islam, with various groups seeking to implement Islamic principles in governance, became a significant feature of this period. This often led to complex interactions between religious and secular ideologies within these newly formed states. Today, in the early 21st century, Islam is a truly global religion with over 1.8 billion followers. Muslims live in almost every country, forming diverse communities with a wide range of interpretations and practices. The Islamic world continues to face contemporary challenges. These include issues like extremism and terrorism, which are condemned by the vast majority of Muslims. Islamophobia and prejudice against Muslims are also serious concerns in many parts of the world. Internally, there are ongoing debates about tradition and modernity, the role of religion in public life, and social justice. Despite these challenges, Islam remains a vibrant faith, and its followers continue to contribute to all aspects of global society, seeking peace and understanding in an interconnected world.